from our last tale.
And you feel these vines, they are wrapped tight. They are squeezing onto your arm.
Ste'yn just sits and lets them wrap around, and she's going to cast guidance on herself.
He's going to test the vine, and he's going to do that by causing flowers to grow out of them.
I think first we're just going to try to bust out of them.
You're going to take 14 non-lethal damage.
Yeah, I think it's magic, actually.
If you're smart, you'll know what to do.
I am going to do an impulsive thing. Summon one of my blades. I'm going to throw it at that guard.
Yeah.
This is going to be non-lethal psychic damage.
Ste'yn casts light on the vines themselves.
But Nora's attention is immediately on him. What? And then you watch him storm out of the room. He just shoves the door, practically breaking it.
It's going to be really awkward to do, but I have a pan flute that's hanging around my neck. So I'm just doing that and blowing into it. I am going to cast Identify on the vine.
I feel like her mind's just racing to all the different things she could possibly think of, and her mind just keeps going to that this seems like it's magic and she doesn't know any magic, so she just is completely lost.
And then she turns like about face and struts from the room as if that exchange never happened.
Oh, bless your heart. Well, he seemed to have good positive results the last time I tried this. Oh, that's a nat 1 to the throw. Okay, so I'm gonna miss the attack. Yeah.
Oh no.
For the record, I just want to say, this is happening because the last time you got a nat 1, I was very kind.
Well, so this is my third nat 1 in this game.
Seems like it's just not your lucky day.
But can I also do stealth at the same time to hide the fact that I threw it?
No, you cannot. Because it was a nat 1.
Okay.
We're just gonna call it there. So you attempt, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So you attempt to attack again. And you, as you're trying to throw your dagger, you feel this kind of block. And almost as if it had been anticipated, almost mocking, as the dagger doesn't get an opportunity to leave your hand and instead just, not physical damage, but hits you instead. I won't make you take damage for it, but you have the rest of your turn, you are dealing with the otherwise results of what one feels when they are hit with your psychic daggers.
Is the vine still loose? They loosened on my last turn.
It hasn't tightened. It has not tightened anymore.
When you say loose, does that mean like I could wiggle in them? Or do you just mean loose as in I don't feel cramped in them?
You don't feel nearly as cramped, but they are still wrapped around you.
Is there a way to finesse my way out of them? Or actually, instead of trying to finesse directly out of them, I want to try to reach, because in the back, on like my back, like my lower back, I have a concealed physical knife. Can I try to reach for that?
On your next turn, you can.
Okay.
Because you are currently dealing with the psychological trauma of your psychic dagger.
Okay.
All right. One day you'll have to tell us what that's like. Beau. Nat 1 to hit.
It's in the notes, don't worry.
This is how you. All right. That will bring us back to the top of the order. Ste'yn. These very light threads of vine shift. They're still wrapped around you, but it's as if someone had gently knotted them around you.
Ste'yn will sort of sit back against her chair as she can, not trying to get out, just sort of relaxing into it. She closes her eyes, sits back, and just tries to discern what she can about the situation, about what she's seen and what she's heard as far as interactions go, and see if she can put any pieces together. So can I roll a wisdom check or something for that? See if she gains any knowledge or has discerned anything of note.
Are you observing? You're just kind of assessing the situation just based on what you've seen from everyone? Sure. I will. Let's do. I'm trying to think. We could do straight wisdom. I'd like to give you the opportunity to use a skill, like an insight or something. Insight is generally. It's generally about a specific person, but you are kind of putting together what everyone has done that you've seen so far, which is a whole half of the room. So I'll let you do a wisdom insight check.
Awesome. And she's going to add her d4 to that chat.
Excellent. Guidance.
So she got a total of 16.
Okay. From what you've seen from this whole half the room, including 2 people who have broken their bonds, and one of whom you overheard sounding very upset about his results, it seems to you that the less you've done, the better your results have been. Between the girl you now overheard, her name is Lear, who kind of started with an idea to struggle and then also witnessed that didn't seem to work very well, and she's calmed down, with Viola, who is now just sitting there doing nothing at all. And then the man in the corner, who was otherwise unassuming, you haven't seen him move very much at all, but you have noted his vines have sort of shifted back and forth, as if he started doing one thing, also tried something else, seems to be trying another thing, but also from him you seem to note that the less he does, the better off it seems to be. The less perhaps aggressive tactic in any way, shape, and form seems to prove more advantageous. Because you didn't notice any kind of very aggressive outward movement from the wizard, who also stormed off, but also she did not seem to do well. So generally, the less aggressive tactics are appearing to be effective.
So when I tried to grow flowers, it should have really liked that.
It didn't say make friends with it. So don't beat it up.
Why not?
Maybe if it was a real vine, it would be your friend.
I think it
Ste'yn will dispel light, like just turn, let that go. The vines aren't glowing anymore. And she's just going to sit back, keep her eyes closed, just sort of meditate. Trying to pay extra attention to what she hears, because the people within her field of vision seem to be dwindling.
Okay.
And then if I can still do anything else, she casts guidance on herself again.
Well, I think you would still have it.
No, once you use it, the spell ends.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then you said you dispelled light?
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. Okay. Is that the end of your turn?
Yep.
Excellent. He's already gone. She's already gone. All right. It is now Snow.
Alrighty. I am maintaining identify for my action. For my bonus action, I assume I would have heard Viola cry out earlier when she took 14 points of damage. More than half of her HP.
And I think she also said something aloud to the effect of
Beau said something to her.
Can I see her? Can I turn my head enough to be able to see her? Just barely out of the corner of my eye.
Let's see. Yes, and I should also begin your turn saying that your vines, they are definitely not squeezing you anymore. They feel as though they were gently knotted around you. I would say you can turn your head enough to see, you can just make out Viola.
All right. I am going to cast Healing Word on her at 2nd level.
Can you do that simultaneously with Identify?
That's up to you. Identify is not concentration, but it is an ongoing thing, so that's up to your discretion if you think that it would stop while I do that or not.
It's not concentration. I think the thing with the concentration is you can't have 2 concentration spells going simultaneously. Sure, I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
He
for a friend.
maintains his simple part of that. Well, he
He's
speaks healing. Yeah.
As I am blowing into my pan flute, because I do technically have to do that, because there is a material component to Identify, so I have to play music while I do this.
Well, that's something I didn't realize.
So I'm blowing into my pan flute, and I stop to take a breath, and I glance out of the corner of my eye at Viola, and I just say, "Keep your chin up. You're doing great." And she will heal 6 plus 1 for 7 points.
Well, you got half
So
of
half of
that.
the
Thank
damage
you.
is it.
I'm trying my best.
You're doing great.
Beau, do you need? Snow, do you need to keep doing that?
Yes.
I actually kind of like the background music. I think it's nice.
Do you, Viola?
It's calming
Is
me
that your
down a
full
little
turn?
bit.
Is it panning out well for you?
I mean, no,
And
but
you can't
yes.
see my face, but you made me smile very large.
Snow's just on top of all this psychic nonsense going on. He's just, what is wrong with you guys?
I think the question is, what's wrong with you, Beau?
I mean, constant pan flute. Who ever heard of non-stop pan flute?
I mean, technically, it's
If you don't
only
like it,
going
you
on
can
for like
leave.
12 seconds. Now,
I
right?
can't leave. If I could,
Just
I would.
get up and leave.
How are you talking while playing? This is all so confusing to me.
I have to take breaths.
Snow, is there anything else you would like to do on your turn?
No, that is it.
Okay. All right. No. Viola.
Have I noticed any change in the vines?
Yes. The vines seem to have returned to their original state. They are clenched around you. There are no thorns. The thorns seem to have I'd say if you're just kind of sitting there, if you were looking at them, the thorns appear to have kind of shrunken back into the greenage, the green of the vines. They've lightened back to their original kind of lush, full green, but they are wrapped quite tightly around you.
Okay, so I think I'm just gonna maybe wiggle a little bit and see if that makes them try to tighten again, or if they stay the same, or almost like
are
I'm trying to
you-
shrug out of it. Not forcefully, just like kind of testing the waters to see like if I start moving again, are they gonna clench up again?
It's like testing ice. Is this gonna let me step on it?
Yeah.
Is it cracking? So is your intention to see if you can just gently slip out of them?
Yeah.
Okay. You begin to kind of wiggle against them. I will still say, if you are attempting to, in some way, break yourself free, give me another strength check.
I don't want to strain against them though.
Then you just want to wiggle for fun? You're welcome to just wiggle for fun.
Yeah, I guess I'm not thinking like push against them, more just like
seeing how much give they have.
Yeah, I don't
You're
know. I definitely don't
So,
want to push
okay.
against them at all. I'm just trying to move a little within my constraints and see like if it senses me moving, is it going to tighten again?
Okay. So then let's narrow it to two options. So you are either observing, you're just kind of testing just how tightly they are currently grappling you or restraining you, or the attempt will be to break free, maybe not with the same kind of vicious might that you had before, but you would still be attempting to remove them from yourself. Is it an observing, or are you attempting to remove them, even gently?
Let's just say I'm observing.
Okay. You begin to kind of wiggle and test and push a little and then see what gives a bit. They are definitely very tight. They don't change. They don't hurt. They don't bite into you or anything. They have that same kind of initial strength that they had when they first wrapped around you. They're not hurting you. They're just tight.
Okay, I'm just gonna kind of like announce to the room and say like, "Hey guys, I don't know if anybody else has had any better ideas. Trying to push my way out wasn't working, so I just kind of sat here for a little bit, and I feel like they're getting looser. So unless anybody has any better ideas, I'm just gonna continue to kind of sit here and see if they fall away on their own."
Well, wait a minute. Does anybody have any like grease? Maybe we could just wiggle our way out. Isn't
Fresh
don't
out
You
of
hear a
grease,
little
I'm
call
afraid.
from the corner. You hear a little call from the corner where Lear is. She's like, I do have some bacon grease. I just didn't bring it with me. It's in my room. I cook a lot.
All right. Well, I appreciate the thought. I mean, I wasn't really actually expecting that. I was mainly thinking of like I heard of some spellcasters casting grease on areas, but you know what? That sounds like it would make for a great meal.
Well, if we get out of this, I'd be happy to cook for you. But first,
Yeah,
we have to get out of it.
We should all go out after we get through whatever this is. I think
This
that
is
would
like
be
a
fun.
bonding experience.
I'm Snow, by the way. I don't know. What's your name? I can't even see you.
Nice to meet you, Snow. My name is Lear.
Hi, Leah. How's it going?
Oh, just a tight situation.
I think we should be staying focused on our task.
I don't know. It didn't work out so well for the people who were extra focused. So.
Were they
That is
focused on the
true.
task or on their own hubris?
In Beau's head, when she said that, he was like, "Don't Ste'yn, don't say that tied up at the moment. Don't say tied up at the moment."
Viola, is there more? Sorry, is it still Viola's turn?
Yes.
Unless she's...
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep sitting here.
Okay.
That's the only thing that's made it looser so far, so I just sit back and relax.
Excellent. Ste'yn, for the first time, you see the man in the bottom corner. You see him pause, and he kind of turns his own head a bit. Not very much. You see his restraints are still pretty tight, but he turns his head a bit. He doesn't say anything. You just kind of catch the side of his face, just that kind of olive tone complexion, a bit of a 5 o'clock shadow. But there's a little smile on his face as he just kind of nods his head and looks back towards his wall. You do see in his hand, he does have a small dagger that he managed to get his hands on. And he just starts to kind of, just like that, but better skilled, just kind of let it go between his hands. But he doesn't move to use it. He's just kind of, he's sitting there. But you kind of note him for the first time, like actually kind of maybe listening to you guys. And then, I think that brings us back down. Oh, yeah, that brings us back down to Beau.
Okay. So, how are my vines?
Beau, your vines. Thank you.
Because technically I haven't
Because if you don't
attacked
remind
or
me, I'm gonna
anything.
forget.
I haven't attacked the vines at all this entire time.
You have not attacked the vines this entire time, no. But they do, yeah, they're feeling looser. They're feeling, let's see. Beau. They're feeling a little bit looser than when they first wrapped around you.
So
they don't feel like they've made much of a change since you accidentally stabbed yourself with your psychic dagger.
Okay, so without trying to struggle against them, he would like to move towards his knife.
Mm-hmm.
Am I able to do that without any kind of like struggling or anything like that? Like he just kind of glides his hand back?
Where is your knife?
It's on, like, basically like concealed on his lower back. So it would be something where he could just grab it real quick if he needed to, but he doesn't really rely on it.
I'd say you'd be able to. It'd be a struggle, but you can get your hands on it.
Okay, yeah, he does it very ease. Like he's not trying to like he maneuvers a little bit, so that way he doesn't actually forcefully. Once he does get it in his hand, he's just gonna drop it on the ground, and then he's going to. Okay. Can I do a stealth roll to try and whisper something? So he's thinking he just wants to be, you just need to show it some kindness. So he's going to try an attempt of whispering to it to see if that maybe makes it even more loose. So he's making sure he has no weapons on him, and now he's going to whisper. But he's going to do it stealthily.
Are you whispering sweet nothing to a magical
so the thing is he's trying. No, so the thing is. No, so he's going to, because he also is going on the train of thought of elves and like their connection to magic. So he's going to attempt whispering so that people can't hear him say in Elvish about how he yields to it and isn't struggling. So he's whispering it so that way people don't hear that he speaks Elvish.
Okay. You're welcome to do that.
Okay, I will roll. And do I still have a disadvantage, or can I do a flat stealth roll? Or
just to whisper?
Yeah, because I'm trying to make sure no one can overhear it.
I won't make you roll a disadvantage just to whisper.
Okay, so is it stealth, or would I roll
stealth?
Is it stealth or deception?
If you just want to whisper sweet nothings to the vine, I won't even make you roll stealth. You can just whisper sweet nothings to the vine.
Well, I just didn't know if anyone was going to try and listen. So I guess if anybody...
I'm playing music right next to you.
Oh, that's true.
You can probably whisper more quietly than my pan flute playing.
Between still playing music, Ste'yn might be the only one watching enough, and she's not looking at you. The other girl is doing her own thing as well. I don't think, unless someone can give me justification why they might overhear it, I don't think anyone will hear it.
Well, Ste'yn understands Elvish, so she'd be surprised
unless someone wants to
speaking it.
But that would only be if she hears it.
Yeah. Right.
I will let anyone who wants. I will let who's within. Wow, that's right. You guys went for the 4 square. I will let you guys roll a perception to hear it. I will say it is at disadvantage, but I'll let you roll a perception to see if you hear something against whichever is your higher trait, Beau.
Oh, okay. I will do stealth is my highest trait by 1, so I guess I'll do that. I got a 19, so 26. If the others
want to, you can roll.
I got 26.
26, you have to beat.
Yeah, no.
At disadvantage.
Yes.
I can't beat that with advantage.
Well, that's good, because I was about to use a psychotic dice and a bardic inspiration dice if you guys got closer.
He does not want you to hear.
Yeah,
Viola,
so
I imagine you didn't succeed in the roll.
She didn't even try. She's not paying attention to that.
Yeah.
She's in her own little world.
Yeah, so he just whispers to it, saying like he yields to it and that he doesn't mean any harm, and then he just relaxes to see if that gives him any more leeway.
Okay. Whispers sweet nothings in Elvish.
Yeah, I don't think Thieves' Cant was gonna get to it.
I don't think he would trust you. Okay. Is there anything else you want to do, Beau?
No.
All right.
Or actually, there's something. He's going to look over at Nora. Nora, was that her name? Can you hear me?
Her eyes are still just glancing around the entirety of the room and occasionally back at the dwarf, but then back around the room. But you call to her and her head snaps in your direction, almost surprised for a moment before she seems to collect herself. She just looked at you to continue.
Alright, I'm just wondering, is there like a time limit on this thing, or is it basically once things go at your own pace sort of thing?
The instructions are plain.
So, no time limit.
Not precisely, I suppose.
Okay, well that's a way to put it. Thank you.
She only nods and then kind of leans back against the wall, continuing to watch.
Can he say one more thing?
Sure.
He's gonna look at the other guy that walked in. Who are you?
You say this, and Nora's eyes, whatever facade she had, it breaks for a moment, and her eyes go wide before she pulls it back. The man looks at you, and he gives you a small nod. Granul Bronstone.
Granul Bronstone.
And you, son?
I'm sorry, what?
And you, son?
Oh, my name is Beau. Evan Wood, if you want last names too. Yeah. So wait. So she's the person over novices. Are you the person, like, are you her boss? Is that what's going on here? Because she seems the manager? She seems a bit uncomfortable with you in the room.
He just slowly smiles. Don't you mind none. Carry on. He looks back at Nora and he nods to her, and then he leaves the room.
When he leaves the room, he's just... Beau's just gonna give like a little thumbs up towards him. We did it, Nora! Does she react at all to the thumbs up?
Nora is watching the door for an elongated moment after he leaves. She's just staring at the door. Anything else, Beau?
Nope, that's it. He's talked to everyone he wants.
All right. Ste'yn.
Right.
The very normal now looking vines shift around you, and they fall to the ground. And you watch as they kind of dissipate into kind of puffs of smoke, and they vanish. You are no longer restrained.
Wonderful. I'm going to stand up and try to go out the door that I was facing, that I was looking at the whole time. Because you said there was a door on either end of the
Back
room.
door?
Yeah, the one that we didn't come in through. She's just going to stand and try to leave the room because the instructions were when you stand, you may leave.
I would hear her stand up though, right? Her armor is a bit heavier, right? Ste'yn, did you just get up?
I did.
Okay,
I'm
and you
not
just
staying
job.
put.
and you just stood still the whole time, or sat still. I guess you might correct me.
What?
Nothing. Okay, well, good job.
Did you do anything special to get out, or did you just sit there?
Sit there
Okay, sweet. Perfect. Thanks.
and calm yourself.
Got it. I'm
Already
as calm
there.
as the pond with no wind.
And Ste'yn's just gonna look over to the side. She's just gonna give Nora the smallest nod for trying to go out that door. She's not really asking for permission or anything. She's just following directions.
And you get a nod in return.
Wonderful.
Oh, she finally turned her attention off the doorway.
Yes, finally.
Did she finally see my thumbs up? Because I've been holding them.
That's so long.
I mean, what else is he doing?
She hears Ste'yn stand, so she turns to look, gets the nod, receives the nod, returns the nod, then sees Beau giving thumbs up, looks a little confused, and observes the rest. So Ste'yn leaves. No.
Hello.
Are you continuing your identify?
I am. Do I have any? Would I be able to have any of the same kind of insight as to like it's specifically aggression, and that makes it worse, and then the less aggressive you are, the better it becomes? Would I to observe that?
Actually, I apologize. So I'm looking over the rounds. Actually, I apologize. As Ste'yn stands, and as she starts heading out towards the room, you also feel your vines fall away.
Oh. And they dissipate when they fall?
They do.
I was really wanting to see what those were. Oh well. All right.
Well,
Snow
mine is
stands
still
up.
going.
Well, I do wonder if I might could help. And he's gonna glance at Nora just to see if she like makes any reaction to his helping another person.
Give me an insight check.
17.
Okay.
It's a very
You
intense glance at Nora.
when you look to her, she sees your vines fall away as well, and she watches you stand. You actually see this. You kind of see her shoulders were very tense, and you see them just drop just a little bit as she watches both Ste'yn. She watches you after Grenell Bronstone left the room, and there just seems to be a bit of relief kind of falling over her. She doesn't stop you from talking to anyone, but you are seeing that there appears to be relief coming over her as she's watching you.
Okay. So she doesn't necessarily react to my offering to help one of the others.
Not immediately.
Okay. So I'm standing next to Beau's chair then. All right, I'm going to try something.
You want to try it with Viola? I think her situation is a bit more dire. She's getting hurt a bit. I'm snug.
All right. I mean, if you prefer. In that case, I'll go over to Viola. Would you mind if I tried something?
Go ahead. I'll take all the help I can get.
All right. No promises, but let's see if this does something.
Cast burning hands.
I cast fireball.
It's a little touchy.
Our word
That doesn't sound very helpful.
And Snow was secretly the BBEG the whole time.
Right in the midst of you.
I am going to use my last spell slot to cast Healing Word on Viola's vines. Because that is the opposite of aggression.
Okay.
Old strategy, Captain. Let's see if it pays off.
Let's see. Okay. You cast the spell. You don't note the same kind of effect and feeling as when you cast the spell on a person or even a properly animate object. It happens, the magic goes, but you don't notice anything.
All right. Well, sorry that didn't work, but
Hey, thanks for trying.
you know, yeah, sorry. But I will say that even though you're a little tied up at the moment, your hair looks fantastic, and I will give her bardic inspiration instead, and then I will follow after Ste'yn because I have nothing else.
Thank you.
Excellent.
If her hands were
Speaking
free, she
of-
would flip it over her shoulder, but
Good luck, friend. And then I'll go find Ste'yn.
Excellent. They leave. Fantastic. Shortly following behind you two is the dark complexioned gnomish girl, whose vines also fall away. She scurries in after you two.
Going to make dinner,
Viola.
I assume.
No, that's the other one.
Oh,
That's the half. This is the gnome.
I see.
There's a lot of short people in this room. You're two very tall people in this room. Viola, you feel your vines as if they are just loosely, very loosely knotted around you. Still around you, but loose knots. Are you continuing to do what you've been doing? Sitting in your timeout chair, thinking about what you've done?
yeah, I feel like that's the best thing because I feel like at this point I'm too scared to move, and what I've been doing has been making it better. So I'm just gonna continue to sit here.
Okay. Beau, your vines feel notably, they feel different.
Oh, they don't fall
Your
off?
last one, no, yours also feel like they are loosely knotted around you, if I counted correctly.
I guess he's going to wait. Yeah.
Okay. Then I will say, for the sake of time and rounds, you do see the girl in the corner. Her vines fall away. And you hear this kind of excited like squeak from her as she jumps out of her chair and kind of looks at herself. And then she starts to go in the direction that Ste'yn and Beau, Ste'yn and Snow and the other, she starts to go in that direction, stops herself, then kind of scurries back into the other door that is now kind of half on its hinge that the Goliath had knocked through. She actually goes back in the other direction. A guard follows her out briefly and then comes back into the room. With a little bit more time, Beau and Viola, your vines also fall away. And when everyone in the room, when their vines all fall away as well, when your vines fall away, I will ask, do you guys exit as Ste'yn and Snow did?
I'm not.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow them.
Am I the last one to get
Okay.
out then?
You would be the last one. The other two will also follow.
Okay,
So you would be the last one in the room.
Okay, that's perfect. Then I'm gonna go up to Nora.
Okay.
Hey, Nora. I have a few questions. I don't know if now's the time that would be good to ask them, or if there's something else that you gotta be doing.
You also now note that she has this relieved kind of look about her. She's standing up properly, but is kind of a little smile on her face. She can't help as she looks at you, and she says, there are others, novices, who must be in here shortly. Did you have a question?
Yeah, just a few. Probably wouldn't take up that much of your time.
Go on then.
Okay, well, one is more unrelated to some of the other ones. This is more of like an inquiry that I was thinking about that might help. Well, you saw Viola over there. She's a bit, she's trying to get more practice in with fighting, but it seems like she's kind of hitting a bit of a wall. I don't know if it's the way she's doing it or if it's maybe some of the mentality of, I don't know, the people out there. She just got kind of stood up by some people. Is there, I don't know if there's some kind of guardianship customs, or maybe it's just a custom I'm not aware of for the kingdom as a whole. I don't know. Is there a way of formally asking somebody, like challenging them to a duel to make them more inclined to have to actually spar with you? That maybe she can try just to kind of get her foot in the door and get practice, because that's all she really wants is practice, but nobody's really giving her a chance. So if we can kind of like tell her what, like a thing that she could do, like I don't know, something like that. Do you know if there's something like that?
Formal dueling. Well, I suppose I should say you have a fair bit of freedom while you're here. You're not slaves.
What?
You're not being held against your will. If there's someone you wish to speak to, as though I don't suppose you could force someone to duel. She seems very confused by your question.
Well, I mean, more of like a challenge in case people don't want to practice with you. I know we got plenty of free time, but she's over there and she's getting practice with Snow, but I mean, to be honest, I don't really know if that's gonna get her to the fighting capability she's aiming for, and considering what we're signing up for here, I think it's advantageous for her to get good at what she's striving at, so I feel like it's just all around better if she can actually get the practice she's aiming at. You get what I mean?
I believe I do. You'll learn various things while you're here. Not everything will be strictly fighting, which I hope you observed today. But I suppose if you want formal invitation to sparring, well, no, there's not exactly a precise method.
Alright, not a precise method. Alright, that's
fine. Is there someone in particular you want to challenge?
I mean, I don't want to really challenge anybody. That's not... I was just thinking for her. I don't know if she... I don't know exactly if anybody's... Seems like they're willing to do it, so I was just thinking it could help. But if there's not a way, then I mean, there's not a way. That's just it. Anyway, that was like more of like an aside question than like some of the main questions that I got.
Sure.
Yeah, so that was that. But my other thing, I was just wondering in general, how long have you been doing this? Like, how long have you been in like these kind of like working in the guardianship? I don't know exactly your title, but like, I'm just wondering on your tenure.
Roll an insight check.
Okay. Could I be perception? Oh, I got a 19.
Good thing I didn't answer immediately. A 19 is your total?
Mm-hmm. I have no wisdom.
Fair. Okay. Okay. She just says, long enough? Why?
Well, no, I mean, I was just wondering, based off of that, like how long you've been here, what kind of obstacles you've seen. Is this your first one?
My first what?
Like is this your first guardianship, or did you like transfer here from another one? I know these things aren't exactly like coming up all the time, so that's what I was wondering.
True. I suppose this would be my first formal guardianship.
Okay. And have there been any kind of like particular challenges since this thing has been up?
So far, it's as standard as one might be.
Okay. All right, that sounds that's a good sign. It seems to be thriving pretty well. Okay. And I'm wondering how much do you know? This would be a bit old, back a few years. Do you know much about the Gem Guardianship attempt?
She pauses for a moment. Not in particular, no. Why?
Oh, well, I was just wondering. I heard some news about that before I came here. It was kind of like one of those things where you should be careful of joining guardianships. They can be tough. And the example they gave was that location that I guess it didn't really go very well. So I didn't know. I've never, heard of it outside of that. So I didn't know exactly if it was like public knowledge, how much it was about, or if it's just something that never came across.
I'm afraid I haven't heard of it myself.
Okay. Well, that's just dandy. Can I do another insight check to see if she's telling the truth?
Sure.
Oh no, they're getting worse. Can I still have my bardic inspiration though, right?
I would say so.
Alright, I'm gonna roll a d6.
Okay.
Got 10 total.
Hey, that's better than her roll. I have been having her roll against you. To see if she's telling the truth?
Correct. Well, I was doing it to see if she was lying, which I guess in turn would be knowing if she's telling the truth.
Sure. She doesn't seem to be lying to you in whether or not she has heard of, whether or not she has heard of Gen. With your experience, you might find that a little bit strange.
Yes.
For someone in her position, being a captain.
That's what I was thinking. All right, well, it's been a pleasure, Nora. I'm guessing we passed. Is this like the first, or is there like more to come? Like, or are we good? Are we in?
You'll receive your information in the morning.
All right. He's also gonna look around. Is the guard that I threw the dagger at still there?
Yes, he is beside her, and It's the same one. You'll note the same one from earlier in the day. That was helping her on and off the table, who seemed to be very close to her.
Okay, but it's not the guy that was at the doorway, or the gatekeeper guy.
No.
Okay, yeah. So he's gonna look. So I just want to come a little bit clean here. You might have caught on to it slightly, but sorry about the first knife at you, buddy. You say it to the guard. He was like, I was just testing to see if that would make the vines go away.
He looks at you. He looks at you, and in all honesty, he doesn't look very angry. He kind of shrugs, to which Nora adds, patience is in fact a virtue, and not every fight will be dealt with blades. He understands.
Okay. Wait, are you saying he understands as in like that guy, or are you saying me, I understand?
She's referencing the guard. To you. She's saying the guard understands. You were attempting something.
Okay. All right. Well, I hope you guys have a pleasant night. I think somebody's making me dinner, so I'm just gonna head out and see what's going on with that.
All right. Beau, you leave the room. You follow. Are you following behind the others?
Yeah. He'll go and meet up with them, the collective.
Okay. The room, so when you leave through that secondary door, it does lead you to another short hallway. There's only one door there at the end, which leads to another small hall. There are some guards that are waiting there who congratulate you, assuming your success. and they will inform you that a little more clearly than Nora had, but they inform you that your results will be given via your mailbag in your barracks, and you'll be informed of the consequences come morning. You do have free reign once again of the Peace District. You are briefly shown to the direction of the barracks, which is split between a male and a female barracks with kind of a middle room, which is that kind of mail room, lounging room, but the quarters are actually separated, and otherwise generally told where a number of places inside of the novice hut, which is this whole gigantic building, you're told where various places might be of interest, which I'll leave up to you guys what would interest you. But the evening is yours to do as you will, and you will hear in the morning as to what comes next for you, the novices. And there, I think we shall end our session for the evening.